hey. Welcome back.
Good evening, Miss Teasdale. How have you been since you returned home?
Dr. Reed. Oh, thank God you returned safely from these awful streets. I was so worried about my father that I left without thanking you properly.
Please don't mention it, miss.
Good. I found him, you know. My dad. Or what was left of him. I think my abductor intended to do the same thing to me.
What do you do for a living, Miss Teasdale?
Before my kidnapping, I was a waitress in a pub. Now I'm unemployed.
Were you fired?
No. It's just that after my recent experience, I don't feel like I can go back to my normal life. I need to do something useful.
Be very careful, Miss Teasdale. You were lucky to escape death once, but vampires lurk everywhere.
You killed my kidnapper by yourself, didn't you? No offense, Doctor, but you're just a doctor. I don't see why I couldn't do the same.
What do you intend to do?
Dad always told me, Louise, if you want something, don't stop until you have it. I did my research and I found it. Ichabod Throgmorton, professional vampire hunter. I'll be his apprentice.
You mean the dude that has Nosferatu on his posters? You do what you need to with your life.
What can you tell me about this area?
I've never really liked this part of town. It was where my father wanted to live. I won't remain here much longer.
What exactly don't you like about it?
People here are contemptuous and elitist. My dad always said, Louise, always treat people like you want them to treat you.
Louise, tell me what you really think about your father's sacrifice to save you.
I'm proud he went after me. I forgive him all his harsh words, all his bloody attitudes. I only wish I could tell him how much I loved him.
Yes. It can be traumatic, not having the chance to say goodbye to those we love.
Yes, Doctor. And there's no treatment for that type of pain, isn't that right? That may be the last thing my father taught me.
You seem to cherish your father a great deal.
Dad was the best. Kept an eye on me, but let me make my own mistakes. Louise used to say, mistakes are the best teacher. You would have liked him.
I'm sorry you didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye.
That's all right. He's buried in consecrated ground now. Nothing bad can happen to him.
Louise, what can you tell me about the vampire who captured you?
The little fucker claimed he'd fallen in love with me. That he wanted to spend eternity with me. Not a bad idea. At least that's the way it seemed at first.
Really? Did you consider accepting his proposal?
Well, immortality. Not a common wedding gift, is it? I think he just wanted to have his way with me. Can vampires even fuck, Doctor?
What?
Oh my God.
Well, I really can't answer that. Well, since they are creatures of blood, physically speaking, I suppose an erection is possible, but
Don't be embarrassed, Dr. Reed. I was just asking.
Oh my God, that's hilarious how he reacted. Well, they're creatures of blood and erection. That might be possible. Lady Ashbury, it's so great. After that,
goodbye, Miss
I'll
Teasdale.
say goodbye now.
And be careful. Until we meet again.
Dracula, to the inspiring Lady Ashbury. There are darknesses in life and there are lights, and you are one of the lights. The light of all lights. Bram Stoker. 4 August 1897. An original Dracula by Bram Stoker. Signed by Bram Stoker to Lady Ashbury. Wow. That's fucking crazy.
Elizabeth. I'm so happy to see you. I was so concerned.
It is also good to see you in these darkened hours. Is all well, my dear?
Indeed, we stand upon the precipice. Has the news reached you of Edgar Swansea?
No. I returned home but moments ago. What of him?
Your friend, the well-informed old Bridget, tells me the Guard of Priwen has assaulted Pembroke. I fear Edgar tops their bloody list.
Bridget? She is such a tragic figure. And yet, I sense deep inside, she has a delicate, fragile soul.
Indeed, she has. I'm glad you like her too.
Once this is all over, I will study the sewer skulls. I fear I have made terrible mistakes, founded upon erroneous preconceptions.
I was concerned for your safety.
Erroneous preconception.
McCullum draws too close to you for my comfort.
Fear not. I've evaded the hunters for many a year, and I intend to stay far from their gases, flames, and spikes. Now, speak to me of Dawson.
Aloysius Dawson is no more. I took care of him.
I imagine the Lord Redgrave with spitting teeth.
Ascalon has defrocked me and threatens to hound me from the city. This was, no doubt, inevitable.
You did what you thought was right at the time. One can ask no more. The important task now at hand is to help poor Edgar.
Now I am assured of your safety. That is precisely my intention.
Good. Now go, my dear, and return with good news with the greatest haste.
Okay. Bye. By the way, I love you. I told old Bridget that, but apparently I can't tell you that before I leave. But you know, I love you. Bye. I also need to remember to look for. Oh God.
Those bastards. What have they done to Edgar?
Oh fuck. Oh no.
Looks like he's wounded. I better follow the blood.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
Ultraviolet curtains and orichalcum powder. Dr. Swansea's always been a resourceful bastard. I bet he never told you he had this installed in case of a vampire attack. Says a lot about how much he trusts you.
What have you done with Edgar?
Don't worry. We don't kill humans. Even if your friend is deserving of a little punishment for what.
What are you talking about?
We know everything. Swansea and you created this bloody epidemic.
No, we
You aim to
didn't.
unleash another disaster, just like William Marshall did.
No, I'm trying to put an end to it, just like you are.
You're its progeny, aren't you? Where is the monster hiding? It's still in England, isn't it?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Jeffrey, please listen to me.
No tricks. That shit won't work on me. We've found proof in the theater. Doris Fletcher was your first experiment. Now where is Marshall? Speak! So much for modern technology. Time for the tried and true. Do you know what this is, Beast? This is a drop of King Arthur's blood. The blood of a true defender of Britain. Stronger than your evil powers.
Oh gosh.
This is ridiculous. We're losing precious time.
True enough. Soon I'll bring your head before your coward of a father. Priwen prevails!
I
We
kill
are
him?
the guardian of justice. Priwen shall prevail.
You can't accept the fact we're not enemies, can you?
We always have been, and we always will be. Of all the evils that threaten mankind, your kind are the worst.
You hunted me down.
I was only reborn for a few minutes before you and your men hunted me down like a beast.
You were only reborn for a few minutes, and you'd already taken the life of an innocent woman.
There is no way you'll ever let me be, McCullum. You'll always hunt me down, won't you?
There is no escape, Leech. Kill me now, for there is no way you can sway me to your ideals.
That's where you're mistaken.
What do you mean?
Oh, this is too good. I could get 1,000 XP to spare him. But God, that would be so satisfying. Ugh. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Alright. It'd be very satisfying to do this, but I kind of want that 1,000 XP, so...
I'll spare you, McCullum. I'll offer you the mercy you never offered me.
What is this ruse?
This is no ruse, McCullum. This is me letting you go. After all, you and I are both trying to save this poor country in our own way.
I'll kill you, Reed. Next time we meet, I'll end you.
See? Progress already. You called me by my name. Until the next time. Goodbye, Hunter. So Priwen never left Doris's theater after they invaded. They must be holding Edgar here in their new headquarters.
Oh, McCullum's report. I just finished reading Doris Fletcher's journal, as painful and dreadful as it was. My God, the woman planned to see everyone in London afflicted by infecting all that could come to her play. It helped me understand greatly what is going on. Doris Fletcher's real name was Doris Jones. She was the daughter of some Harriet Jones. What? She's Harriet's daughter. Wow. Who has been treated as a patient for a long time at the Pembroke Hospital. She clearly hated her mother, but used her fame and notoriety to see her while visiting the poor and the sick in the East End. I don't know exactly what happened then, but this is how her mother infected her before returning to the theater, and how she turned into that monstrosity that the leech known as Jonathan Reed finally defeated. The presence of that vampire in the same hospital where Harriet Jordan was treated can't be a coincidence. I'm convinced that he is deeply involved in the vampire plague going on in London right now. I'm also convinced Swansea is his accomplice, and that the two are planning something more terrifying than anyone on the guard has ever faced. Maybe I should take some time to read the old books and manuscripts of the guard still possessed to get some answers. It may prove useful. In the meantime, I better send some patrols to investigate what's occurring at the Pembroke Hospital. It took me 2 days to parse through the dusty registers and books we keep in the vault. God, I hate losing time like this. The search did prove fruitful at once. I found 2 pages that could be related to our present situation in a copy of William Marshall's memoirs. I took them with me to read more carefully. This creature Marshall says he fought in 1666, this disaster that aimed to destroy London. It is very similar to what happened to Doris Fletcher. Disease, infection, hate of living, a desire to see the city ransacked. I have no doubt now that the bloody old leech of William Marshall is behind all of this, and that he is back. This could be our greatest accomplishment, if the Guard could at last find and destroy that old bastard. I believe that Marshall did in 1666 is exactly what Reed is now trying to do. Did the creature, this disaster, escape their will? Is it why Marshall destroyed him in 1666, and Reed did the same with Doris Fletcher, before she became such a creature? I don't know. But those two are clearly working together, and Swansea is helping them. I will immediately give orders to have him arrested and interrogated. As for Reed, I'll destroy that evil beast myself, and then we'll deal with William Marshall, and thus this disaster thing. Prewin will prevail once more.
Doris Fletcher was about to become a disaster. I'm getting close to having all the evidence.
Oh, the key. Alright. That's for over here, right?
Edgar.
Oh, man.
Edgar, can you hear me?
Jonathan, is it really you?
Yeah.
Easy. Easy. Save your strength. I'm getting you out of here.
Don't try to spare me. As a physician, I know all too well when it's too late.
What? No.
Punctured lung, broken ribs, and internal bleeding. An accurate diagnosis, wouldn't you say?
Edgar, what happened?
They wanted me to confess. Beat me black and blue.
Geoffrey McCullum ambushed me at the Pembroke Hospital. He was convinced you and I were responsible for the Skull epidemic.
I never imagined that self-righteous fanatic would dare to attack us in the open. What became of him?
To prove him wrong, I let him go.
Really? Are you sure that was the wisest course of action?
I don't know.
Time
but,
will tell.
You know.
The most intriguing
hope
part
so.
of his accusation was that you and I were the pawns of some ancient vampire.
William Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they tortured me to make me confess the same nonsense.
I trust you, Edgar, but the Guard of Prewin is onto something.
What do you mean?
William Marshall, for example. You speak of him as if you know him. How is that?
Jonathan, I cannot say I'm ready for another round of questions.
Why would the Guard of Prewin believe you and I created the vampire epidemic?
Maybe due to our profession. Because I offered you shelter in my hospital.
What can you tell me about William Marshall?
Not much. History paints the story he was the greatest knight who ever lived. Amongst the immortals, he had a yet greater legend.
Why is the Guard of Prewin so obsessed with him?
He was the only ancient vampire to escape the first great hunt launched by the Guard of Prewin in 1854. They believe he's an evil creature plotting his return.
Why would he deserve such a reputation?
I cannot say. The Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole has next to no intelligence on him. All I know is that he's supposed to be the oldest of all the British vampires.
While investigating the epidemic, I read some of McCullum's findings. I think you have some explaining to do.
I have nothing to hide, Jonathan. Nothing at all.
Do you know Doris Fletcher's real name?
No, I'm afraid not.
Her real name was Doris Jones. She was the daughter of Harriet Jones.
What do you want me to say, Jonathan?
Do you remember when we suspected Sean Hampton killing Harriet Jones?
Yes. The terrible episode that came as a shock to us all.
Harriet Jones faked her own death. When I found her in the sewers, she confessed she wanted everybody to pay for what happened to her.
That woman was extremely bitter, full of hatred and festering anger.
Doris Fletcher visited her mother at the Pembroke Hospital. That's how she first got infected.
I know nothing about that. Miss Fletcher once came to visit the sick. That is all I know.
No, Edgar, there is more. Doris Fletcher was Harriet Jones's daughter. They exhibited the same symptoms: blind hate and strong physical mutation.
What does this sad story have to do with us?
Do you know where we are? Doris Fletcher's theatre. This is where that hateful creature plotted to spread the epidemic across London.
I only briefly met Miss Fletcher once when she visited the Pembroke Hospital. You say it was to see her mother. She seemed like such a sweet and graceful woman.
My point exactly. The disease turned her into a bitter soul, driven by vengeance just like her mother. A symptom of all the infected patients.
Certain diseases are known to produce similar effects. Rabies, for example. And rabies is not the devil at work.
Come on, Edgar. Don't you see the pattern here? The epidemic, the link between Doris and Harriet, the suspicion of McCullum?
How could I? I never saw Harriet Jones again after she fled the hospital.
Doris and Harriet shared more than a hidden family bond. They were the embodiment of the epidemic and are linked to the Pembroke Hospital. Come on, Edgar, this is no coincidence.
I swear I'm at a complete loss. All I did was administer vampire blood to cure old Harriet. There was no evil plan, no diabolical plot.
You did what?
I tested the regenerating and healing properties of vampire blood on Harriet Jones. My only intention was to find the cure for influenza, I swear.
Whose blood did you use? William Marshall's? Mine?
Lady Ashbury's. While transfusing her with human blood, humanely appeasing her hunger, I also kept samples of her blood for my research.
You used her blood on Harriet Jones? My God, Edgar, that's unethical. You betrayed 2 of your patients at the same time.
How dare you judge me? Must I name the alarming list of your victims?
We are both deceivers. But at least I know I'm a monster.
You have worked beside me. You saw what I'm doing at Pembroke Hospital. Jonathan, you know I'm not an evil soul. Just another victim of this tragedy.
Holy shit, let die, you deserve it. Embrace, I'll make your death quicker. No, I'm not gonna let Dr. Swansea die. Are you guys insane? Fuck that. I'm turning him.
No, Edgar, you are not going to die. Unless you want to.
What do you mean?
I can save you, Edgar. I can turn your broken body into one like mine.
You truly would? After all I've done, After all that's been said, you would offer me this gift?
I have no way of knowing which punishment would be worse, Edgar. But it is not for me to decide. So?
Oh, please, Jonathan, please. I beg you. This is what I've always wanted. This is what I've always searched for.
Very well, then. Prepare to die and be reborn. To face an eternity of guilt.
I'm ready. Oh, indeed, I am ready.
Oh god, that is disgusting sound.
Enough!
I failed a hint. I failed 2 hints. Shouldn't we, like, wait for him to wake up? No? Alright. Well.
What good fortune brings you back to me, Jonathan? What is it, my dear?
I'm afraid it's bad news, Elizabeth. The worst, actually.
Please, speak up.
Edgar is no longer in McCullum's grasp. I resolved that matter.
Where is our good friend now? Is he well?
Of a sort. His injuries were mortal. I had no choice but to make him one of us. To save him. Or to punish him.
To punish him? I fail to understand. And what is the source of this cold tone in your voice?
Edgar Swansea was responsible for the Skal epidemic, Elizabeth. It was he who unleashed the deadly scourge upon London.
What? Are you certain? This is the most terrible accusation of all.
He confessed everything to me. He sought to cure the disease, to exploit vampire blood to stop the epidemic. But he unwittingly gave birth to a catastrophe.
All those poor victims. How could he do it? What happened?
Edgar's behavior was beyond lunacy. He had neither the discipline, knowledge, nor the proper facilities to conduct blood experiments.
I must say I'm shocked, Jonathan. Who would have thought it? And the poor patient. Let me guess. It was Harriet Jones, was it not?
Yes. That explains how Doris Fletcher was infected, and how she became an Icor. She secretly visited her mother at Pembroke.
Then we have no choice. We must act quickly, Jonathan. We must return to the sewers and put an end to the threat poor Harriet embodies.
I have one more matter to discuss with you. Harriet Jones was the primary case, but do you know what a healthy carrier is?
There is a tone in your voice that frightens me, Jonathan. What are you trying to say?
It was your blood Edgar used for his...
No. No. This can't be. Oh.
Elizabeth, are you all right?
No, I have to go.
What do you mean?
Leave me alone. Save the city, Jonathan. Save what can be saved.
Elizabeth, I need answers. Why did your blood
Stay
cause
away
this?
from me. Please. I swear I never was your
Wait!
enemy.
No! Elizabeth!
What? What's happening? Oh wow, that's a beautiful painting she was going for right there. Wow, that's a lot of information. Okay. Gather ingredients for antidote. Attain drop of William Marshall's blood. Oh yeah, because Lord Redgrave really wants to help me right now. Oh, or from Joffrey McCullum. And then search for insulin at the old morgue at the hospital. Okay. photography in a wallet. A photography. Not a photograph, but a photography. Of a smiling and loving couple with a few words written on the back. Milton and Pippa forever. Oh! Ooh.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
You can say that again. Never would have suspected it. Ah! I found it! Okay. My dearest child, this is my last letter to you. I chose to hide it in the Pembroke Hospital. Do you remember how disappointed you were when your application was rejected? I had never seen you so upset. For days you did not say a word. This was the first time I realized the darkness you had in you, my son. A black stone embedded in your heart, hidden to all, which I sometimes saw in your sister too. I feared for you both, for I perfectly know what it meant to feel this gloomy mood. The dark side of the reeds, the reason I must go now, that I know I'm condemned. I'm sick, my son. The diagnosis is irrevocable, and death will soon come. I refuse to be seen like this by those I love. This is my fault and my decision. You're so far away now, learning with this Dr. Cardinal in Paris how to transfuse blood to save patients. Already thinking how to improve the method you've helped create. I'm so proud of you, my son, but you can't save me. I won't be Aubrey Reed, the dying banker surrounded by his friends and family, unable to leave his bed. I won't stand it. I won't accept it, so I left. Just like you left us to become a great surgeon you're destined to be. The great surgeon I never want to see next to me, looking at me knowingly that I will die soon. Keep on studying, my son. Become whoever you're destined to be, and do it for yourself, not for your old father who loves you. I have taken all the necessary measures to protect you, my family, of any dangers to come. I want you all to remember me as I was, not as I'm about to be. I leave, for I love you, my pearls and jewels. I do it because I have this dark mood in me I hid from everyone as long as I could. In a few days I'll go where I stood when you left us for France. There I'll leave a last gift for you. There I'll vanish, never to come back. Farewell, Jonathan. I wish you to be happy, or as happy as I have been with you all these years. Kiss my Mary and my Emmeline for me. Take care of them. Farewell, my dear boy. Believe me as ever, my dearest John, your devoted father, Aubrey Reed.
Southwark. My departure for France as a promising student. My return as a brilliant surgeon, about to be killed. Transformed.
I open your father's safe.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all,
No.
Milton.
Good. Please,
Nothing
take
bothers
this
me
money
about it.
anyway.
I kind of like it.
To remind you to
Super
keep
cute.
your mouth shut. Not everybody's as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Well, thank
Goodbye,
you. You didn't
Milton.
have to, but thanks anyway, you know.